Sego, and good afternoon. I'm Louis Jacobs. Local full-time artist Carrie Hill has been creating baskets and jewelry and other forms of art for over 13 years. Since she began, she received a New York Foundation for the Arts grant, which allowed her to build a studio to work in. This in turn gave her a space in which to teach classes, host presentations, and expand her visions as an artist. Well, last summer, she had roughly 500 students in various classes, but this year, due to the pandemic, she's had to change up her approach to creating an income and creating art. I spoke with Carrie recently about her work and her creation of a COVID-19 mask. Let's take a look. So, Sego, Carrie Hill, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank y'all for having me.
Sure. Well, so listen, I wanted to start off real quick with the recent grant that you received, the Indian Collective grant. Tell us a little bit about that and what inspired you to apply for that.
So the grant that I applied for was called the Indian Collective Artists and Entrepreneurs Grant, and what it was like a fast, rapid response to the COVID-19. I guess I was inspired to apply for it because I had so many bookings into August that were, going to help us out financially and pay bills and things like that. But I had classes and demonstrations and presentations booked, and then because COVID hit, my schedule was wiped clear. That was the inspiration because I still gotta have a business and feed the family and stuff. But
what was the result of the grant? What will you do with the money that you receive from that?
So the good thing about this grant that I was awarded is that it's completely open-ended. So it's emergency grant to do whatever I need to use the money for as far as an artist. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of concentrating on commissions and bringing the commissions in to create pieces for other people, I will be able to just sit in the studio and create things that I have in the back of my brain.
Right. You mentioned the other day too, when we were talking about, I was asking you about your studio, and you said a grant helped build the studio where you create all of your art. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I was like, how did that happen?
So in 2015, the New York Foundation of the Arts opened up a new category called the Folk and Traditional Arts. And it was the first time I ever applied for anything ever in my life. And my friend and I would sit here and we'd dream about how it would be so fantastic to not be working at my kitchen table. And imagine if you had a space, you could teach all these people, you could host classes, you could have a space where you're not cleaning up the table to eat dinner from your creations and things. So I applied for the grant and I got it. So I was awarded a $7,000 unrestricted grant, do whatever I want. Like, I could have totally went on vacation, but I wanted a space. So my husband and I and a friend of his purchased the materials, and we built the studio from the ground up. We poured the slab, we put it down, and we stick built the sides, and I have a metal roof, and I have some cute little windows and a good space to work in. So now I don't get my splint and my spaghetti mixed up together anymore.
Right. I also know that you created an amazing COVID-19 mask recently as a result of what's happening in the world. Tell us about that process and how that came about, because I've seen it and it's amazing and historical in terms of what's happening in our world. So talk a little bit about that.
Oh, and yeah, my friend Laura Thompson's boy Jacoby Thompson tagged me, and he said, "Carrie, I need 4 of them by Friday." So I thought about how to make it. I looked at how they were made, like the structure, and then I tried to figure out how I could do it with splint. And I've spent, I think, 3 straight days on it. And I don't mean like a couple hours here and there. I mean like days. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's kind of like the bonus of being a full-time artist, is I have all the time that I want to use on a project. Right. And then I was notified of a contest that they had through a magazine, First American Art magazine. And they were having a contest out there, and if you won, you would get a full-page spread. Second place was a half-page ad in this magazine. And so I submitted it, and I didn't win, but I did receive Judge's Choice, which is pretty prestigious. So I'm pretty proud of that as well.
Awesome.
Especially because it started as like a, hey, you can do that. do it. You know what I mean? So it was just, I don't know, it's pretty cool.
What do you see in terms of what you want to work on in the future?
Well, so when that mask won Judge's Choice, I was approached to have it purchased, and then I was approached by somebody else. So I thought about different designs that I'd like to do if I was to create a couple more masks, because I have a few more going out to other places. So then a few more masks would be on my plate. I have some other like accessory items that I'd like to tackle. And because now there's not a rush to get everything done, I can take my time and play around with beads. I might not do a whole lot with it though, because I'm not a fan of getting stabbed.
You're
But
not a what?
I'm not a fan of getting stabbed by that beading needle. So I don't know how they do it, but I applaud the beaders, man.
Yeah. So I wish you continued success with all of your artwork, and just keep making us proud. I think Akwesasne, all of the artists that we have, and you're definitely up there in the stuff that you create. So I think that's awesome. You're welcome. Well, thank you for talking with us.
Thanks for thinking of me. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
Carrie Hill. We'll talk with you again.
All right.
So that was our interview with local artist Carrie Hill. Our thanks and appreciation goes out to her and all of our artists here in Akwesasne. Thanks for watching. For Akwesasne TV, I'm Louis Jacobs. Yo, honey,